Indeed, it is an honor, actually, to step into this city. We all recognize that, and we are truly blessed. You are so much blessed to live in this city, to have such a center that is only on that path that our beloved Master walked around and went to the church very close here. And so I was thinking about that on the plane coming. I was thinking that how incredible it is that we are walking on that same street that our beloved Master was walking with a group of believers, and in so many parts of this city he was there and giving talks and bringing the message of peace, so much needed today as well. So friends, we received this incredible message. I'm sure you all already might have looked at it or started to study or maybe even finished reading it. 28 November message of 2023 of the Universal House of Justice. Such a remarkable message. Of course, this is not the time to delve into it. We don't have enough time. But I want to just offer a few thoughts for your consideration. You know, this significance of this message has, I believe, has many reasons. One, first of all, it gives us a clear picture of where were we just 100 years ago, and where are we now. But most importantly, if we study this message so carefully, which I hope you will do, that we should ask ourselves this question constantly. What was it that enabled us to get here in just 100 years? You know, we could have, and in fact there are believers already 100 years old, so it's not such an amazing. I know my mother-in-law passed away 102 years old, and another family relatives passed away 103 years old. So you can see it's that not such a long period of time. But look at how far we have come. But it is important to recognize that what power, what force enabled such diverse humanity to push forward and remain so strong, resilient, and united. How is it that even the head of the faith, when you think about it from the time that the beloved, our Master passed in 1921, and then our beloved guardian took the leadership of the faith. And then after his passing, now we have the head of the faith. The authority even change with shape, with forms, from individual to now elected body. Think about how much of a change for a community. And that's why it was a big test for many, many people, Baha'is, that either they were tested a great deal. But yet, we remain very strong. And we have a very clear direction in a world that is so filled with confusion and corruption and lies and everything you can think of. We have gathered around one truth, one divine guidance, one head of the faith, and authoritative writings. Can you imagine what amazing blessing it is? It is the power of the covenant that dear Shaheen so beautifully highlighted, is what enabled us to remain one community, one most diverse, yet one community. So friends, I really wish and recommend highly for you to study this message. Not as a, I highlight the word study, which is much, much more than reading, right? And it is even very helpful in your natural setting, whether you are a group of friends or a community or whichever way it works, your study circle. If you can really dedicate a period to study this message, it will probably take about 10, 12 sessions of couple hours. And as you are studying, every paragraph should bring to you certain questions. And ask yourselves these questions. Explore together in order to see this panorama of amazing picture. We are too close to really recognize significance of this amazing story that never, ever has been ever in the humanity's history been told. So yet we are the recipient out of billions and billions of people. What was it that we received? I don't think we are any special people, but definitely it's a special blessing that we have received. And of course, ultimately, House of Justice reminding us that we have so much work still to do. And as dear Shaheen was highlighting, every plan is bringing for us new areas of learning. By end of the plan, we gain so much more capacity to be able to embrace even more complex and more difficult next sets of area of work. And you know, this area of release the society building power of the faith has been part of all of our plans. But in this 9-year plan and the series of plans to come, House of Justice is telling us to release this power in ever greater measures. It's the question for your group, whether you are your teams, whether you have nucleus, or your study group, or your community, to ask this question: what does it mean to release this power in ever greater measures? How do we engage larger and larger number of people in conversation? But that's not enough. We have to learn to give people a vision, that this vision of new humanity, new race of people, new community, new world that we are trying to build. This is Baha'u'llah's mission, given to us to bring humanity into that mission. You know, one practical area would be for you to remember global conferences materials. If you notice, the content of those conferences were created to bring large number of people and introduce to them the mission of Baha'u'llah. Those conferences and the content was not meant for one time. In fact, is this year's Reswan message, House of Justice reminding institutions like local assemblies, agencies, auxiliary board members, to remember to bring back these conferences, whether at the neighborhood level, at local community, or entire cluster level. But why? Because we want to constantly bring more and more people into this conversation. So this mission that Baha'u'llah has brought for us belongs to every human being. It is up to us how we engage more and more people to think about it. Every human being has a role to play in this mission. And it is up to us how we bring them closer and closer. And the instrument of institute is allowing everyone not only to take part, but to raise their capacity and quickly become protagonists and start bringing more people. Can you imagine? We have now in our hand an entire educational program, spiritual educational program for age 5 through adulthood. Can you imagine? We have now lessons for every age, starting age 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 6 grades. After that, we have 15 texts for junior year, between ages 12 through 15. After that, we have a whole sets of courses that will develop capabilities to come back and start teaching those younger people and or youth helping their other youth or adults bringing others. So you see, we have now in our hand a system that we can educate ourselves, develop attitudes and require qualities, but also serve, build capacity to do the similar community building efforts with many, many others, every age group. This is remarkable. And we created this over last only 25 years, since 1996. In 25 years, from nothing, this is where we are. Can you envision where we might get by end of this series of plans, just 25 years from now? Can you imagine? There will be thousands and thousands of children, junior youth are moving. And next to this educational system, there will be additional programs. For example, program for social action. There will be auxiliary academic programs. In some parts of the world, these different tracks of educational programs started to be implemented. And this is also in this country where we are envisioning to move gradually. So friends, this is where we are. But we came here to this point, and we will continue to grow much, much greater way because of our obedience to the head of the faith, our love to the head of the faith, obedient to the teachings and the laws of the faith. Therefore, we are able to create one unified society. Never before in the history of humanity that such society was created. And we are part of the builders of this society. And I'm so much grateful to your local spiritual assembly. So magnificent work this institution is doing. You really are not able maybe totally be aware, but when you are from outside like me, when I come, I could see each time I'm coming how far this community have gone. It's mostly because of the leadership, loving guidance of your local spiritual assembly, and their collaboration with agencies. Your two-stage election itself signifies that how well this community is equipped to be able to respond to such development. And like this, many other kinds of advancement will be taking place in your community. And I'm just so thrilled to be here during this couple days and witness wonderful advancement already is taking place, like your 19-day feast development. And you know, you can feel the spirit so much more different this time I have come than other, although every time has been more lovely, but this time it's quite palpable. And this is very important because ultimately, friends, we are engaged in a spiritual enterprise. It is not that we are creating a corporate world or we are kind of manufacturing things. Every piece of it is under the guidance of divine inspiration. Every step you are taking is being blessed and confirmed by our beloved Master, that he blessed this place. So you should be assured of that. And therefore, don't hesitate to step further to bring larger number of people into your efforts. Or if you haven't, start whatever you can do and initiate conversations, invite people, and if you need assistance, reach out to your coordinators, area teaching committee. But this is where we need to go in order to bring larger and larger number into conversation. And very receptive society, New York City, I have found that people are open. But sometimes we need to learn how to have a conversation with people. Not every topic or every conversation may be timely, or even people are ready to hear. If we can speak about a vision of one humanity, if we can talk about the peace message of this faith, if we can talk about a new kind of community life, I can assure you everyone is quite interested to know and to take part in it. So again, I thank your assembly for inviting me, and it has been my really great pleasure to be with you during this, since yesterday and tomorrow as well. Thank you so much.